Good morning, everybody. It is Jack the Intrepid Train Traveller. I am, as you can see, just left home. Just walking past the pub now. On the way to the train station with camping gear. So last year I cycled, I think the most western third of the Icknied Way. I'm now doing the other 2/3, but on foot, because that cycle was bloody painful. It wasn't painful, it was just bloody hard work. Not suited to a bike. So I'm on my feet this time. It's going to take 3 days. I'll be going a little, well, I mean, I'm a fast walker anyway, but if you just keep doing it, yeah, leisurely pace. Currently walking to the train station, which, to start off with, especially along the canal here, is a delightful walk. I'll catch up with you once I'm on the train. Made it through the construction site. Everyone was a lot politer coming the other way than at fucking Euston. Now we're coming to possibly the most beautiful station in London, maybe the country. Just there, 11:01 to Cambridge. Just the architecture here, it's that you can go so far from here. You can get to Switzerland with just like 1 or 2 changes of train. You can get to Marseille just straight on one of them in the summer. You can also go to the delights of Sheffield or Nottingham or Kent. However, I'm not getting on one of the trains that leaves from up here in this glorious hall. I'm getting on a suburban train that leaves from downstairs in the, albeit modern, a very dark, but I wouldn't say depressing, Thameslink platforms. So, now getting a train from there to there, Letchworth, where we finished up last year and are starting our journey today. So just about made it off the train. When you pulled in, I was busy filming the houses out the window through the trees, because this town actually played about 100 years ago a very prominent role in modern town planning and townscaping here in the United Kingdom. So I was trying to film these famous design houses that they have here, specifically designed for the project. And then suddenly we were at the station and I had to throw my stuff out onto the platform and make sure I got all my bits out the train along with myself before the train doors closed and I went off to Royston. Anyway, we've now made it to Letchworth, not Chorworth. This is where our journey begins. Our foot journey. Right, now let's make it to the Icknied Way itself. And with building a new city around what was at the time just villages, they needed employment. So along with all this new housing and town development, they built this. The Sparilla company opened a factory here to employ everyone. And this is where I left off on the way here from Tring last year. And this is where I would probably start my journey all the way to Letchworth. So I'm now properly setting foot, but I think for the next half hour I'm just going to be walking along the road out of Letchworth, because of course the Icknied Way, it's an Iron Age track road, but because all they had was like horse and cart back then, they would walk or take the carriage from place to place to trade goods. And of course trade updated and it's now done on roads with lorries or trains, well, railways with freight trains. Railways over there, so of course this would just be upgraded to a road. But once we're out of the city, we'll be on paths again. I won't have to hear them things driving past. The old-timey Hummer sign is back as we prepare to cross the motorway. This is the delights of the A1M, the main artery through Hertfordshire, on the east side of England all the way to Edinburgh. And it seems the beauty just lives on. This is next town over, Baldock. And despite all the parking down the high street, it's delightful. All these old, quintessentially English buildings. And despite the road, all this grass. It's lovely. I mean, yeah, I'm in the countryside. I thought it would really start to be quiet now, but no. The A505 got in the way of that. Finally out in the countryside proper. I think I'm only 200 metres from that motorway, but I can't hear it at all now because of this wind. It is a blustery day. I could be in that Winnie the Pooh special, Taj from Come Fly With Me, was such a fan of. I don't think I've ever seen it, I just know it exists from that episode of Come Fly With Me. I might be flying soon if this wind picks up. So we're well and truly in the countryside now. We just keep on coming along these dilapidated barns. And people just tipping their shit everywhere. And we are on like a track, it's not just the path, so I guess there was something around here. It's all very agricultural. But with it being flat and rural, and we're not far from some rivers. That is not the sky in the road, that is a massive puddle. I think I'll just cut through this delightful church. So this wasn't just any old church. Turns out my favourite author got married here all the way back in June 1936. One George Orwell, whose real name was Eric Arthur Blair, who all the locals here knew him as, got married to his wife Eileen in this very church. And I just walked in their footsteps. Turns out I spent quite a lot of time living in this village, and if I'm correct, would have written his two first books, 2 or 3, in this area, and he also got the inspiration for probably his second most famous book, Animal Farm, whilst living around here. And behind me here is the cottage he lived in whilst he lived here. Looks a lot nicer than he made it sound on those billboards in the church. It's like a very idyllic place to live, although considering someone lives there, I won't stay here for too long. Onwards and upwards to Royston. This may be the pond George Orwell said kept freezing over each winter and they would skate on, but there's not much to skate on. Somebody took the 70s ceiling design and put it on the entire house. And we'll be jumping over that. This little set of platforms. So these gates are all a little bit mismatched. I looked at the map and it's down here. This gate just opened all by itself, supposedly for me. It's where I've got to go. And down to here. And now that one's also opening. And now it's, oh, okay, it was closing. Is it? Is it gonna make it? Okay, I got halfway. Anyway, we're going down here. I do love the bluebells of spring. So, this is how I am quenching thirst and acquiring water. Looks fine. Tastes fine. It doesn't taste like grass or moss. Bottoms up. So I've made it to the village of Thurfield, and okay, maybe not for you, but definitely for me, I found a way of blocking out the sun. Although I think I should have come with some boat shoes for this field. It's very, very, not muddy, but waterlogged. We're in Thurfield. And it has this delightful green. It's really sweet to know that a village this small has a well-equipped park. If I had more time, I would definitely be on the zip line or the swing, but my legs are turning into jelly and I've got to make it to Royston in time to have dinner. So alas, hopefully I find one like this tomorrow. Now, this is the farming country I've learned to get used to. Dug up soil, a bunch of flintstones and chalk and whatever in it to help fertilise and neutralise something, and massive ass haystack in the middle there, and something smoking away. We've come to the big one. It may be stunning weather today, but we have had some almighty storms at the beginning of this year. And it continues. One of the paths near where we've got the boat at the moment is blocked because a tree fell over in the last storm. This is, I was about to say this is getting extreme, but this is actually a bit like, you just got to sway instead of duck. And all these plants are starting to come through. That's not just the bluebells, everything's smelling delightful. Things got a little thin there, I would have filmed it, but we're now on chalk. So it's slip and slide time. Luckily things don't stay thin as we progress. And I've finally made it to Royston. Seem to have made it to the sports fields. Anyway, it is this way and slightly up this hill to town. It is nice to finally be in a town where I can finally get some dinner. After like a whole day on grass, it hurts to walk on tarmac. So behind me there is a set of gardens set up in the town to commemorate those who gave their lives in the Second World War here from Royston. And then right next to it, there at that roundabout, is the busiest road junction in Royston and the crossing point of two of our most famous Roman roads here in Britain. Icknied Way, or street, I think it's Icknied Street, goes from London, I think all the way to York, and the Icknied Way, the one I'm doing. Well, that's a view for having dinner with. Although I've just started to be able to hear the main road. Anyway, let's open up to see what dinner is. This isn't all of it. I went for fish and chips. However, the incredibly lovely lady serving it gave me some extra cod bites and also probably 50% more chips than that. And I nibbled them all away in a park by the fish and chip shop. But then thought I'd try and press on a bit further. I am going to get a bit further, try and make it over the hill and the distance there before I call it a night. But now I'm hungry, I'm going to eat. And I come to face to face, sort of face to tree, with why I could hear the odd lorry going by. Sat on the top of that field. I was very near the junction where the town road met the bypass, and now I'm walking along what they become the main road to Cambridge. I only got to walk along this for another 3 more minutes, and then I'm setting up camp far enough away so I don't hear it. I don't understand the machinations or engineering of this stuff. For some reason, I love coming across old rusty farm equipment. I don't know what it is. I always just find it fascinating to come across. But right now, I'm a little too tired to work it out. Ooh, I'm gonna need some top-notch lighting. Oh. Okay, maybe not then. I can assure you this is my head. Behind me is my tent. I'll just show you in the morning. But anyway, sun has set, but these are the surroundings for my night in the trees. Right, I'm now just sat in my tent. I think you could just about see me and the door. So thoughts about today. I didn't get as far as I hoped to get to today because I got a little mesmerised with Letchworth. It meant I didn't have enough time to explore Royston. I'm thinking about it. Not only tomorrow should I increase the speed, but also plan a trip to come back to Royston. It would just be for the day, because I saw that they have like really prehistoric caves under the town centre there. They're only open on the weekends, but I'd like to come back and visit them. I'm always quite enthralled by a cave. Anyway, this has been day 1. I made it from Letchworth to just east of Royston. See you in the morning for day 2.